What's up? This is your Captain Icetian 123 here with another Icetian Reads Bleach fanfiction, a Mice Will Play Part 16. So I do really have to apologize that the order of my actual videos this week is slightly askew because I'm mainly for one, this actual video coming out on a Saturday and not Wednesday when I normally do it before the weekly chapter. So manga reviews. Plus, also I haven't done Wayman yet, which that will be done. Plus also Wednesday, I just really wasn't up to making videos that day. For those of you who know me personally, you should know why, but I'm not gonna talk about that on here. But yeah, either way, next week might be a little skewed also, depending on how tired I am. Plus also I might just be that busy. But yeah, either way, let's get into this Bleach fanfiction chapter. I woke feeling groggy and disoriented, almost as much as I was coming out of my stupor. My clothes weren't dark, so it was at least morning. It took several full minutes for me to sit up and remember what happened. I still had no idea how much time had passed since fighting with Teal. Was it days or weeks? It was then I realized he was gone. I was surprised at myself for just how profound my disappointment was. Even with his befuddling behavior. From the moment of my return, since I was old enough to perceive Teal's presence and his temperament towards me. He was always the strong, comforting one that led me to believe I could achieve and surpass the goals he set for me, training and walking through my doubts regarding my becoming and Wagnite. He was even the voice of reason when Hele decided to indefinitely postpone our marriage. And awareness brought forth conflicting emotions about Wenji I should not be having. I was never going to see a body again. My last words to him had been to let me go, and that's precisely what he had done. Knowing that didn't prevent the slight shudder I experienced and allowing myself to think of him and remember. Fortunately, that barrage of thought was interrupted by Teal walking through the door. He was clean and shaved and in fresh but very casual dress, like what he wore when it was his time out in the fields or livestock pens. His face lit up and he smiled upon seeing me awake. I actually felt myself blush. Ridiculous. This man had watched me grow up and seen me at my weakest and strongest circumstances. I see me sweaty, bruised, headache, weighted, clothed and unclothed, in every possible circumstance, and I was blushing like a child because he smiled at me. Pull yourself together, Sonny. This is also the man who pummeled you with the sail heli. This is the man who insisted upon using the archaic ritual of putting you on exhibit for the entire spiel to shame and humiliate you. This is the man who called your shiaksho a jester's costume. I was, however, quite pleased. His overall demeanor seemed to have changed, and he was no longer angry and abrasive. He had generally frightened me, and that was a very uncomfortable feeling. I had no desire to experience it again. He and I needed to talk about so very many things. I had no idea where to begin. Plus, right now, it didn't seem the appropriate time. How are you feeling? He asked as he sat at the table across from me. Woke up fairly disoriented, but better the longer I'm awake. I replied, sitting up a little bitter. It's morning? She nodded. Late morning, but yes. He sat with his hands folded, resting on the table. He seemed to be staring at them, but I knew what he was doing. He had something to say, but was thinking about how to phrase it properly. I waited, silent and patient. After a few moments, he shook his head, then looked up at me. Do you think you can walk for a bit? I looked at him quizzically. I think so. Why? What's on your mind? I know your devilment look, Theo. He chuckled. It was one of the most amazing sounds I heard since my return. I didn't realize until that moment just how much I missed hearing it. Get rest, and you shall see. He teased. That definitely spiked my curiosity. Not only was the gone, but his mouth returned. It was very pleasant and almost surprising to see and heal. I couldn't let myself become too comfortable, though. Filming the distance that had grown between us was going to take effort and time. Taking my cue from his own clothing, I put on something similar. I folded the what was I can't pronounce to save my life. The Hiadi Oiche and tucked it under a pillow and I made the bed. I moved to the door, but Theo blocked the way. He knelt in front of me and carefully double wrapped a new violet belt around my waist. Where he'd hidden, I really didn't want to know. He backed up to the door and reached outside. I could feel it before he made a sweeping gesture, holding it out to me. Anayo knock Shigati. My hands started to move to reclaim my spoiled Kumak, but I hesitated. The hollow reforming inside me, still influencing my behavior. I wasn't sure it was a good idea. Then I needed to know what this signified. Well, was this just Theo returning to me what he snatched from me back at the mound? Or was this finally acting on the behest of the Hele? I started to ask him, but he shook his head again and slid the sword within the material's layers. Come on, he shrugged, and he stepped out the door and grabbed his own immense spoiled Kumak from where it rested next to the door. I followed, feeling an odd mix of anticipation and suspicion. Theo didn't like surprises, so it was hard to believe he'd planned one, and I could not stop wondering what returning my spoiled Kumak to me and allowing me to wear it openly meant. Too many questions, and he wasn't stopping. I'd forgotten the effort needed to keep up with his enormous stride. Falling in next to him, I was quickly reminded how diminutive I felt next to him as he towered over me by almost a foot. I smiled to myself as I recalled a thought from my youth. It was like being next to a next to a walking tree trunk. He walked through the main house of shared Kame and insisted of and instead of the looks of disappointment and shame I was expecting, I was met with Neil smiles, nods, and waves. I was so confused. It was as if I never left. No one stopped or hindered us as we moved on past all the buildings of the Kame and the TSEC. Even passing through the TSEC circle, the reactions from others were the same. Well, these are the same people who'd been gawking, pointing, and whispering as Theo drug me through the day of my my return. Seeing them now, I wasn't sure how that was possible. Had I imagined it? Had it been the influence of the hollow all along? I really wanted answers. Now, when I first read this, I'm like, now I'm starting to actually get it. With this fan fiction, you really do have to actually possibly read it multiple times to fully grasp everything. She writes I will say this. She writes like Kubo. She writes like Kubo. She does, and which is obviously a good thing. We passed. We passed all the homes of the Anam and turned northwest toward the orchards and vineyards, hops and herb plots, and a berry, which were totally on the opposite side of the field than the other food crops and livestock pens. Past that was wild forest. Why were we going there? Teal's expression had been too full of mischief to be taking me out to do any sort of walk. I knew he wasn't going to tell me we arrived wherever he was taking me, so I endeavored to keep up with his substantial strides. As we reached the space between the plots and a berry, I understood why. I couldn't fight to smile, but managed at the tears I found welling in my eyes. He remembered. He sat on an old log and waited for me to join him. Once I had, he placed a previously hidden blanket before me at my feet. There was some bread, cheese, and fruit, as well as a couple of bottles within. Theo told me he said food today, and I was suddenly rather hungry. I nibbled at the bread and cheese, full lifting the bottle. I sighed blissfully. Hyde's mead. He planned a lovely little picnic to watch the butterflies waft into find food and secure places to settle for overwintering. He remembered how thrilled I always was and only armed to watch the spectacle, and he'd chosen an amazing place for us to do so. I ate and drank wordlessly as I walked them, and occasionally peacock butterfly, my absolute favorite, visible amongst the others. Periodically, I steal a glance at him out of the corner of my eyes. He was eating and drinking and watching the butterflies as well, but mostly he was watching me with a grin on his face. Again, I felt a blush rise upon my cheeks, and it felt just as ridiculous as before. Once the contents of the basket were mostly gone, I finally turned to face him. "Thank you," I said far more quietly than I meant to. He smiled fully. I thought perhaps something a pleasant memory, but nothing personal for either of us was in order. I nodded. It was an excellent choice, but you're right. We need to talk. He chuckled lightly. That's what the eyes mead was for. I cracked a crooked grin. It didn't surprise me in the slightest. He'd known just how many times I had thought without voicing it. He'd brilliantly chosen a neutral location far away from any potential outside influences. Good idea. Who goes first? Without a word, he knelt before me and took my hand in his. I'm sorry," he said, looking deep into my eyes. I started to respond, and he shook his head, cutting me off. Not a word, saying nothing for nearly a year. I was out of my mind with panic. I gently tried to maintain my routine and duties. It wasn't possible. When all I could think of was what happened to you. I petitioned the full Chile more than once, knowing what I was asking, to allow me to find some sort of answer, even if they refused to release me, to send one of the others. Maybe we had John, anyone, just to know if you're still alive. They refused. Like gentlemen clouded everything from that moment, and any worry and bitterness just grew. Remember I told you training in a cheetah kame is not my current task. It wasn't. It hasn't been for some time. Before it could be addressed publicly by the Kame others and cheetah kame privately spoke to my father and asked him for me to step aside because I was being too harsh with students. I'm going to. I'm sorry, it's a name I cannot pronounce. Asked me to not do the one thing he'd been made for. I spent most of this time and now comment with my pals, but walking the fields. This body was made and trained to fight, but I couldn't fight for what I wanted. I'd been relieved of my duties, so I had to do something. While I'd not become comfortable with my situation, the walk itself was not unpleasant. It kept me occupied enough to keep my mind from straying to you. Then the day arrived. The moment I'd desired for so long, unexpected, unscheduled activity at the mound. Presence of an exceptional no other it could be. It was a very brief meeting, and of course I had to be the one to meet you. They'd refuse any other. And as finally I was to determine where your loyalties lie, so I dressed the part. I was at the passage before anyone else. I wanted to meet you alone, but Adrian insisted and threatened to drag every active freaks I'm a shared comedy, so I allowed her through as well. You're already there waiting, watching as you arrived. When you stepped out and into the clearing, I was dumbfounded. I'd have stopped her assault on you otherwise, but then you stood there unwavering, allowing her to expel her frustrations. I couldn't fault her, and at the same time was struck by your resolve. I couldn't see then you'd returned, knowing what you'd face. As I separated the two of you, it didn't matter. I'd accept anything you had to say, but then you touched me. Memories flooded my mind, but they were instantly overpowered by a ripple of a sensation I'd never experienced. It was cinema numb, but not. It was completely foreign, and then I knew. There you were, in those awkward clothes, reeking of the cinema of another, and the feelings I'd been forced to set aside burst into my awareness. The heart, the anger, the worry became a living, breathing being that completely possessed me. They told me to prove your loyalty, and that ritual was the first thing that came to mind at the time. If you felt, if you deserved, I felt you deserved the shame, the humiliation. Why would you come back to us looking and feeling like you did? I brushed off the surprise and shock of the throngs as I pulled you through a ceremony most hadn't even heard of, much less witnessed. Then, as I watched you during the whole event and meeting, you held your composure. You denied nothing, and at the same time, you relayed you had actually completed the assignment. Showed and expressed remorse, but still stood our hog knife. And after all that, you actually asked me to help you not break in front of everyone. I was filled with pride and disgust simultaneously. Probably because of you and disgust at myself. I was overwhelmed by conflicting emotions. You returned. You're safe. You're home. But you never sent any sort of message. You were wearing those clothes, and you didn't feel, and you didn't even feel like yourself, or even a dear boss. You returned so entangled with another's cinema, it could only mean one thing, and that flung me into a league I've never experienced before. I was hurt, and each time I attempted to be rational, all I could find myself doing was wanting to hurt you, to cause you the same pain I was feeling. So that day in the training room, I fell back into what I and my body knew, fighting. There was no way I could restrain myself. Why I said it wasn't a good idea, but I was unleashed, and with that darkness surfaced once again. And you knew. Gods be damned, you knew. I saw it in your eyes before. I walked away from you. You knew I was trying to hurt you. That when I broke your entire hand, it was purposeful, and it pleased me, and I had no intention of stopping myself. Had made you any John not intervene. They shouldn't have had to. Such a loss of control, inexcusable, especially with you. It was too much when I'd been relieved of training, but to knowingly wanting to hurt you. Not once had I ever Not once had I felt or desired such a thing. What was I allowing myself to become? He paused a moment and choked away tears, and you wilted after that, knowing you'd experienced in your entire time of being had caused such a reaction. You wanted to die, to let that thing take you, knowing what we'd be forced to do, to eliminate the threat it posed. You wanted it. I know you too well. Evard insisted you come out of it on your own. I was dubious, but I knew how to expel what I'd been keeping such a tight rein on, and spent the weeks, yes, weeks, say 3 bloody horrible weeks, pushing myself through calisthenics and sparring with the Alphigs. I'm sorry, I can now pronounce some of these words, and many long talks with Ebard finally became painfully obvious to others when I'd the first time I saw you lying motionless in your bed. Last couple of days, when your eyes didn't even open, you'd given up entirely. The Ebard had to intervene. So here we are. Tears were streaming down my face when he stopped. Now I knew it had been the hollow, making me see things and feel things, as the gawking was because of the ritual itself and not me. I hadn't been a breath for being dismissed as a long night as I thought. Now I understood Teal's behavior. I'd nearly broken, no, demolished the strongest man I knew. I let my head droop, but he was having none of it. Paul, his usual gesture, his thumb and index finger came to my chin, making me raise my head once more and meet his eyes. A few tears of his own had fallen, and his eyes were pleading. No. He began. We've done far too much of that. Closing ourselves off. Tell me what you're feeling. Whatever it is. I'm not angry anymore. And we've both heard enough. I just need to know. Don't keep swallowing it down. I sighed heavily and wiped my face with my sleeve. He was right. So I did. I explained to him everything about Wenji and why I'd allowed myself to let the relationship blossom as I had. When Theo didn't fight the postponement about my eggs. And then never tried for more than 20 years to have the betrothal renewed. I assumed that he was content with that decision. It wasn't officially absorbed, but it had just vanished, and we never talked to one another about it once the decision was made. Our intimacy even changed. Yes, we continued being physically intimate when the mood struck, but everything between us seemed muted, changed. And in case those of you watching, yes, this is a very mature fanfiction. So, yeah. When I arrived in the city, I had no idea the passageway walked like an actual doorway. So when I moved to walk down the pathway in front of me, I tripped and fell out of the damn thing. They'd sent Shinigami to cover the Sakaimon. I fell way on top of him. Renji, worst possible first impression. But under me was this crimson-haired tattooed man who looked at me like only one other ever had, as if he was staring straight into my soul and wanted an invitation to remain there. I had to explain to him. Then Captain Kuchki, then so many others who I was and why I was there. They wanted to expel me, but no one knew how. Our gateways weren't compatible. I followed the trail of the Thunderma wave, and when I was sure I was at the source, found myself stepping out of a sliding doorway. Captain Kurasuchi was tasked with sending me back, and Renji was suddenly my tour guide. I found myself stuck and having been to spend time with these new people, and it was just also fascinating. Renji was tasked with me simply because he'd been the senior most officer who wasn't. What had been instant mutual attraction grew into more as he and I had no choice but to get to know one another better. Learning our abilities through sparring just deepened it. But I always held back from him. I didn't speak of the BL or any of the people I was involved with. I hadn't even told Renji about what transpired between Captain Kozuki and myself. The things we discussed about the spiel, samples of myself I'd openly provide to him in exchange for information on his own exploits. But I was going to, the day Hara attacked, he would have learned everything. I swallowed hard and looked Theo in the eye as I said I'd intended to stay in the Seirite with the Shinigami with Renji if the attack hadn't happened. The heart that was apparent in his eyes was a slap to the face, but he only nodded. He thought our bond was broken, he stated. I'd given no reason for you to believe otherwise. My hand moved to his face. I had no idea. Theo, I swear, I didn't know that this would hurt you. I was certain, with it having been so long, there had to be another for you, surely. When I first saw you at the mound, there was a symbol of our betrothal upon you, something you'd not worn in years. Our son, it meant you were going to publicly sever. I looked at him what seemed eager as he gazed right back until he moved his head forward and rested his forehead upon mine. When one of his hands slipped behind my head and I held it there, so close and yet so very distant. He whispered, "Too many things unspoken and assumed. We forgot ourselves, forgot each other, and became no more than Glorifying and then long knife." Without another word, his head moved, and I found him kissing me deeply, almost desperate. My initial reaction was to pull away from him, but I was consumed with feeling, and I found myself responding in kind. As it did always, the heat between us surged and threatened to overflow, but I wouldn't allow it. It was too soon for both of us. He must have sensed my hesitance, and he broke the kiss. Too soon for more than that, I said softly. He nodded in agreement. But not too late to find that again? I asked, finding it hard to meet his eyes once more. His hands grasped mine again. No. Never for too late, especially not undertaking that endeavor together. That's what we did. We spent little moments like with the butterflies at the same time undertaking our spiritual responsibilities again. Not just with rediscovering who we were to each other, but who we were at all. We spent too much thought on expectations of others. Days turned into weeks as we learned how to become friends again with each other and those who cared for us. He returned to his role as I'm just gonna say teacher, because I cannot pronounce that word to save my life. This time, a line more input from the I think cheeks. And before realizing he'd taken on far too much as his and only his responsibility and duty after we'd been betrothed. I found myself spending more and more time with the young children passed into the care of Shirakame. Without assignment, I honestly didn't require my daunting Monica. I was content. I could tell he was too. Slightly more than a month after our discussion, I was in the library of Naokame studying herbology in casual conversation. Tia would mention things he learned from Avard, as well as his months tending the field, and I had little idea what he was talking about. So I took it upon myself to educate myself further so there wouldn't be such a gap between us. Avard took it as an honor, and he decided to oversee my education on herbs and healing himself. He brought me a new book regarding poisonous plants, but as he moved to hand it to me, I felt a tremor of phlegma slipped past the fingertips onto the floor. "Oh shit!" I exclaimed. April started to ask what was wrong, but I was already moving toward the door. My feet hit the ground, and I bolted to the core of the spiel. The sensation grew stronger as I ran. It was then a awareness collected me. While similar in source, it wasn't funeral I was feeling. It was Ryatsu. Ryatsu I was all too familiar with. All hell was about to break loose, and knowing what I was going to encounter, I pushed myself even harder to reach the main roundhouse. A breach occurred, and the impossible had happened. A Shinigami, and more specifically, Regiappa had come to a spiel. Okay. Okay, yeah, just as she was saying all hell was about to break loose. Yeah. Pretty much. The shit is about to hit the fan in the next chapter. But, you know, and one of the most painful parts of this fanfiction is coming closer and closer. But it's gonna have to wait until next week, or when I get to it, because of the whole moving thing, and I don't know just how I'm gonna be able to record videos while I am where I am going to be. I have no idea. Plus I'm gonna have to set up my actual computer there, so that's gonna take some time. But yeah, but this chapter, it has tiny time skips in it, but not a lot. But it's supposed to show how long it took Ringsy to finally arrive at the actual appeal, and they will and I will explain more with the actual next video whenever I find time to actually do it. But this was a fairly fast-paced chapter because of the tiny time skips that it has. But you know, this is a great Bleach fanfiction chapter. I loved reading it. I enjoyed reading it the actual first time, and I enjoyed reading it again now. But yeah, if you have not yet read this Bleach fanfiction, the actual link will be in the description box down below. Go and read it. Get yourself caught up. You know, because it is a very good fanfiction. It is very good. You know, like I said, with this actual video, she writes like Kuro. She does. She really truly does. Because she understands all of the characters he made. You know, he invented. She especially understands Miyori. She truly does understand him. But yeah, that's all that I have to say for this actual video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with your friends. This is your captain, Icetian 123, signing out. Peace.